Amen. All right, so this morning I want to talk about marriage. We've spoken about this, I know, probably a few times. But in particular, going to be kind of focusing more on the vows, or covenant and vows. So the title of this message is Marriage, Covenant and Vows. And the reason being, again, my wife and I, we do talk a lot. God will speak to us, and we kind of just talk it out with one another, and revelation or more understanding can come and stuff. But I was talking with her one day, and just going, by my own experience, but being a minister of God too. Obviously, ministry is about people. You can't be a minister of God and not be involved with people. That's kind of your job. Yeah. You're just around people. You're dealing with people. The good stuff, the bad stuff. All of it. So being a minister, when it comes to marriage, I have found that a lot of men and a lot of women coming into marriage didn't really have a great understanding of what marriage was about, what they were getting themselves into. I've come to realize how unprepared and ignorant people have become, and in particular myself, when I was stepping into a marriage. I didn't know what a covenant was to begin with and how serious it should be taken. So how were we supposed to make our marriage last? The beginning stage, let alone the long term. A lot of, people don't really think about the long term. We're going to sort of cover it later on in this message. But a lot of people go into marriage with feelings and emotions. The chemistry. They talk about, unless there's some chemistry, I don't want to be with that person. Well, you get a lot of marriages, it starts with zero chemistry, and yet they last, till the day they die. So how does that work? There was no chemistry to start with. Chemistry can be developed, and that kind of stuff. But my experience, or I've called it my inexperience, because I don't have any. But my experience, as part of a covenant relationship, vows are made in which I didn't even know what I was to be vowing to my future wife, which are to be taken seriously. I thought, you just kind of vow, I love you, and I'll love you till the day you die, I die. It's just like, yeah, woo. But no, it's a lot more than that. My idea basically was there were items to tick off along with getting a ring to put on, get some photos taken, have a feed, just so I can get to my honeymoon and begin my new life of sexual exploits or adventures with my wife. That's basically what it was for me. That's what marriage is for, right? No? Yeah, maybe. No. You fight to stay a virgin. You find a woman you would love to have sex with. You get married legally before God so you can have at it. And being virgins, or if you're keeping yourself celibate for that reason, and you look forward to that. And it is a reward to have once you're married. But marriage is all about sex, isn't it? No, of course it's not. That's what it all comes back to for men and women. Hold off as much as you can until you get married. Do your best to fight off all the temptations that come against you. Say no to the world and what it has to offer. Man find wife, woman find husband, get married and live happily ever after, having sex as often as you like. And that's kind of the mindset a lot of people can have coming into marriage, and that's kind of one. But being a bloke, generally speaking, that's kind of what we look forward to, really. Marriage? No. I'm joking. That was a joke. It's not. There is much more to marriage than sex, okay? But this is so far from the truth, it hurts. Marriage is so much more than just having sex, as I later found out. You need to have a working relationship. Really, men, you can't exactly have sex with your wife unless you have a working relationship. If your wife hates you, she ain't going to want to have sex with you, okay? So, in that sense, you need to have a working relationship. You need to love and serve your wife. You need to take care of your wife, because you're no longer two individuals, but one flesh. Not two flesh anymore, it's one. That's how the Bible puts it. And you can read those if you're taking notes. Genesis 2, verse 24. Matthew 19, verse 5 and 6. And 1 Corinthians 6 and 16. All it talks about is, we become one flesh. just for scriptural. If you want to hear those again, you can watch the thing, but I'll read them once more. Genesis 2, verse 24. Matthew 19, verses 5 and 6. And then 1 Corinthians 6, verse 16. So, I think parents send their children off saying to themselves, they'll work it out. Anybody kind of heard that or felt that before?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, as parents or as children, under parents, you know, I mean, I've heard that, they'll work it out, they'll figure it out. And it's like, yeah, they probably will. Going through a lot of torment, trouble, difficulties, pressures, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But we, as parents, can save our children a lot of hassle by teaching them.
Yeah.
Women may not necessarily get married for sexual reasons, though that may be the case to start with, especially with ones who have kept themselves unspoiled. But it can very quickly change early on in the piece into a desire to have someone to lord over, to fulfill all their devious plans to rule the house, because they think men are stupid, incompetent, fat and lazy. It's a pre-programmed thought pattern sewn into the minds of young girls that gets momentarily activated soon after the knot is firmly tied. And obviously we've covered a lot of this with our MGTOW versus feminism, about, you know, talking about relationships and stuff like that, and how, you know, the heart of feminism or the heart of MGTOW, you know, we've covered that, or my wife has covered a lot of that with her teachings. But either way, they're both so far down the wrong way, it's not funny. Just the mindsets or the trouble that comes, and married couples don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to relate to one another or communicate those things. They get hurt and offended, they zip it, give them the silent treatment, the cold shoulder. You know, all these things that we are well aware of, right? We know this stuff because we've either done it or we've experienced it. But see, through the hurt, people carry it, they hold it. And like what the Spirit of God was getting us to do, was to give up stuff this morning, lay our lives at Jesus' feet, and just those things, even hurts, that we need to give up, because those hurts are only going to hurt us. Those hurts are only eating away at us. It causes bitterness, it causes unforgiveness, it causes us to, you know, and just want to, you know, get revenge or make them hurt the way they've hurt us, you know. And it's just tit for tat and just backwards and forwards, till eventually you're so far apart you wonder why you got married to them in the first place. But see, I want to this morning come after this stuff, because see, when you enter a marriage covenant, it's meant to be for life. There's not supposed to be a back door. Those things are fully sealed and locked down, that there is no way out. And now for people, they freak out, oh, then it's best not to get married. Why? Because once you're married, you just can't get out of it. Well, I said, well, hang on a second. Why the heck did you get married in the first place? It's because you loved the girl or you loved the guy, right? You know, your mindset was to go and, oh man, we're gonna have so much fun for the rest of our lives. It's gonna be awesome. But then stuff happens, and it's like, what the heck happened? And then before you know it, you're checking out every other guy or every other girl. What's going on? What's wrong? So what is the right way? How should my mindset or my heart, my understanding have been coming into marriage? It's a very good question. How could I have been more thoroughly prepared for marriage? Now, for most of you here, you might already be married. You know, some of you may not, and those that are watching via YouTube, you could be single and have no idea, or you could be married. And this message is for marrieds as much as for singles. Because even once you're married, my heart is that you'll be able to recover, restore, or get past issues in your marriage that could end up destroying your marriage. So yeah, pay attention, listen up, and humble yourselves, and you'll be alright.